Hi everyone, Miss Gauss here. Let's go ahead and look at some examples to do with density. So first of all, everybody should have their chapter 2 notes out as well as this handout and something to write with. Okay. One thing I want you guys to know, and that'll apply for the rest of the year, is whenever we do math problems, you're going to have to write the formula out and use units. So go ahead and make a note. You need to always write the formula and show units to get full credit. Very, very important. Alright, let's look at number 1. It states the mass of an object is 30 grams and its volume is 15 milliliters. Find its density. Alright, so you guys should know at this point that the formula for density is mass over volume. Okay, I'm always going to write the formula. Well, and so should you. And then we can go ahead and plug in our values. The mass is 30 grams. The volume is 15 milliliters. Do you guys see how I'm using my units? Okay. 30 divided by 15 is 2. And our units are grams over milliliters. Okay. Let's look at number 2. Here it states that the density is 2.5 grams per milliliter and the mass is 3 grams. We need to find the volume. Okay, again, first of all, we're going to start with writing the formula. Density equals mass over volume. In this case, we need to solve for volume. So we need to get this volume by itself. So you can use this triangle. That's one strategy. Density is mass over volume. Okay, so if we are looking for volume, you just cover volume, and then you see that volume equals mass over density. Okay, I do, however, want to show you another way to do it, which is not necessarily better, but I do want you guys to understand how to rearrange formulas. So if we look at this original formula, density equals mass over volume. Let's multiply both sides by volume. Then you end up with density times volume equals mass. Okay. Now we have volume in the numerator, or, up top, which is where we want it. But now we need to isolate it and get it by itself. So we need to divide both sides by density. Okay. Density cancels on the left, and you're left with volume equals mass over density, which is exactly what the triangle showed us earlier. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in our values. Mass is 3 grams over 2.5 grams per milliliter. 2.5 grams per milliliter. Okay. Now, when you have a situation like this with your units, whatever is in the numerator can cancel whatever with whatever is in the numerator. Okay. So 3 divided by 2.5. You can use a calculator for that. 3 divided by 2.5 is 1.2. And volume is going to be measured in milliliters. Milliliters. Okay? There we go. Focus. Okay. This part, I just want to expand on how I solved for the units a little bit more. Okay. If we have 3 grams divided by 2.5 grams per milliliter, if we deal with the numbers first, sorry, let me do this. 3 divided by 2.5, that equals 1.2 milliliters. Okay, sorry, 1.2. 3 divided by 2.5 equals 1.2. But now let's deal with the units to see what the correct units would be. We have grams divided by grams per milliliter. Okay. Now, if we have something divided by a fraction, we can multiply by the reciprocal. Do you guys remember that from math? Okay. So this is the same as saying grams times milliliters over grams. Okay. Do you guys see that the grams cancel? And you are left with milliliters. Okay. This really gets into some dimensional analysis, which we will do next or after scientific notation. So it's important that you guys understand how to switch around your units. Okay. All right, let's look at number 3. Here it states that the volume is 3.7 milliliters and that the density is 1 gram per milliliter. Find mass. Okay, let's start again with the formula. Density equals mass over volume. If we want mass, we need to isolate this by multiplying both sides by volume, or whatever is in the denominator. Volume cancels on the right, and on the left, you're left with density times volume. So density times volume equals mass. Let's go ahead and plug in the numbers. Density is 1 gram per milliliter. Volume is 3.7 milliliters. And that will equal 3.7 grams. Do you guys see that the milliliters cancel? And you're left with grams. So that's how we determine what our units are. And you guys should know that mass goes with grams. So our answer is 3.7 grams. Okay. Let's look at number 4, and then we'll move on to scientific notation. Number 4 states, when a piece of aluminum is placed in a 25 milliliter graduated cylinder that contains 10.5 milliliters of water, the water level rises to 13.5 milliliters. What is the mass of aluminum? The density of aluminum is 2.7 grams per milliliters. Okay, well, so they give us the density, we need the mass, we don't have the volume directly, but we can calculate it. Okay, so the initial volume of water is 10.5 milliliters, and then we add the object in the cylinder. The water level rises, and it rises to 13.5 milliliters. That's just water displacement, and a lot of you did that to measure the volume of your gummy bears with the Gummy Bear Lab. So to get the volume of the aluminum, so volume would just be 13.5 milliliters minus your initial volume, which is 10.5 milliliters. And that would be 3 milliliters. Okay, so now we do have the volume. Let's start by writing our formula again. So let me just get this whole question on the page. There we go. Density equals mass over volume. Mass is going to be density times volume. Okay. Density is given as 2.7 grams per milliliters. The volume we calculated to be 3 milliliters. Okay, and that equals 2.7 times 3. That is 8.1. Okay, 8.1. Do you guys see the milliliters cancel again? And our units are grams. Okay,